Welcome to Notes from the Not There Yet, a podcast for those navigating life's messy middle. Not lost, not arrived, just not there yet. It's the real stories, real life, and relevant journeys that you can actually relate to. It's for the creatives, the seekers, the doers, and the dreamers. If you've ever asked yourself, is this it or what's next? Then this is the podcast for you. We don't have it all figured out yet, and that's the point. All right, let's dig in. Hello! Today I'm joined by Emma Brown, a finance professional, mum, and co-founder of Elena Apparel. Emma's story is one of determination, of building something sideways, not skyward. By day, she's balancing a demanding finance career and motherhood. By night, she's nurturing a passion project born from a genuine love for style, community, and confidence. This conversation is about what it really takes to balance it all: career, creativity, motherhood, and the messy middle that comes with trying to do justice to each. It's about side hustles built on heart, the courage to pause when life shifts, and the power of collaboration when you finally decide you don't have to do it all alone. Emma's journey fits perfectly into the Not There Yet project because it's not a story of overnight success. It's a story of evolution, of learning to let things grow at their own pace, of rediscovering yourself after motherhood and finding new strength in authenticity, community, and shared purpose. So whether you're dreaming of starting something on your own or you're simply trying to get some balance of what's already on your plate, this is the episode for you. All right, let's dig in. Hi, here we go. So Emma, welcome to the Notes from the Not There Yet podcast. My first podcast, this is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you're my first.
No way.
Yeah, so we're breaking it. We're here today in your incredible studio, which is absolutely stunning. So thank you for having us. And this is another one of your side hustles as well. So you've done side hustles now for pretty much your entire career and most of your youth.
Yeah.
What for you has been the kind of most difficult part of having kind of those side hustles alongside, like what's a pretty heavy full-time career as well?
I think it started out as a hobby. So it became like, something that I did for fun. And what became apparent after I had my little girl is that I didn't have that same spare time to do hobbies as such anymore.
Yeah.
And that's probably been the biggest struggle, that, a lot of my fitness goals had to take a hit, and so did obviously my hobbies and Elena as such. And that's probably the biggest thing that I found is becoming the biggest struggle is becoming a mom.
Yeah.
Is that I just don't have the same time as I used to.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably the biggest struggle.
Yeah. And with the side hustles, and obviously Elena Apparel and Power, and you did a Depop kind of, you were selling on Depop as well. Where does that fire come from in terms of kind of wanting to kind of keep creating these incredible businesses?
I don't actually know. I think it's a bit of an addiction. I think that it runs in the family. So my granddad had his own business. My dad's got his own companies. My two brothers have got their own businesses, and I do think that it is something wrong with us because we're all the same. So we're constantly thinking of business ideas. Constantly, we can't just sit still and then have 5 minutes of peace without something popping into our head that, could be a business idea, could make money, or could be great to do.
Yeah.
I would say
I'd
that
love to be at one of your dinner parties.
Well, funnily enough, if you're at one of our dinner parties with our family, because everyone's got their own businesses, it's not very sociable because everyone's checking the phone every 5 minutes. And actually, it's something that we have to call each other out on quite a bit, especially my dad, especially my brother. And we have to say, put your phone away, 5 minutes, because they've got so many businesses and so many things going on. It's like if someone contacts you, it could be something that needs to be dealt with in that minute.
Yeah.
So we are all quite bad at it. I've got better at it because I feel like out of the family, I'm probably a little bit more aware of how important it is to take that time and not be on my phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, we actually hid my dad's phone the other week when we went out for a meal, and he was like, "Where's my phone? Where's my phone?" So that was funny.
Dad, breathe through. It's okay.
Yeah.
You will survive.
Well, I then went to the toilet. He did the same thing to me, but I was like, "It's fine. I'm okay. It's actually you're worse than me, so it's okay."
and almost kind of needing to put those boundaries in place for yourself so you can protect your peace at that time.
Definitely.
Like, through those times.
Yeah.
So you, as you said, you became a mum in 2022.
I have to think about that. Yeah.
Yes,
2022.
How did that impact you? Like from a personal perspective, obviously it's massive, first time a mum, but how did it affect you both personally and with your business as well?
I don't think I realised how much of an impact it was going to have on me. I think I've always loved kids. Like I've got 2 nephews, all my cousins have got kids and we're all quite close. So I've loved playing with kids. I've had a lot of energy for kids, but I was so focused on my career that I kind of wanted to do everything I wanted to do that I kind of waited till I was in my 30s to have Elena.
Yeah.
And then when I had Elena, I put on 3 stone. So it wasn't just about the weight gain and how I felt in myself. I actually struggled to move.
Yeah.
Like I've always been quite active. I've always been quite fit. But even just walking the dogs around the res, like I had a bad knee, like my back, like the weight had actually had quite a lot of impact on my mobility as well. So I struggled with the weight gain. I struggled with the mobility, and you need mobility when you've got like a young child.
Yeah.
And that had an impact. And then I also, the lack of sleep, I didn't deal with very
Everyone
well.
says the lack of sleep is real.
Yeah.
Real.
I'm someone who needs a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
I
think that's one thing why I've not had children yet. It's like I need my sleep.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's one thing that you struggle. And Elena was actually a really easy baby. Yeah. So I'd have these amazing days with her where like I did a Mamas and Babas fitness club with my old trainer Danielle, and it was 3 days a week, and it was scheduled at a specific time, 9:30. So I loved that routine for us, that I could go work really hard in that hour and feel, looking back now, I'm kind of like, why didn't I just chill and relax? But I was so...
But that feels like that's like who you are as well. You like push yourself.
Yeah, it's very typical of me to do that. Yeah. And I did that for a number of months. I was still going at 100 miles an hour, trying to plan everything in my day, doing the gym 3 times a week, finding classes to go to, meeting up with people. And looking back, I'm like, why don't I just spend some time in the house? Yeah. Like just doing other things and maybe being a bit more chill, but I wasn't. And then I'd get home and we'd had an amazing day because she was so easy. She was an amazing baby. I was so, so lucky. And I'd get in the bath and I'd cry, because it was just all the hormones and it was just like the lack of sleep and overwhelming. And I cried, and Dean would be like, what's going on? And I'd be like, I don't know. It's just so hard. Yeah. And I'd wake up the next day and I'd feel amazing, and I'd feel so lucky to have this gorgeous, amazing child that was so good. Yeah. And it was a strange cycle that happened for probably about 6 months. And then I went back to work so I got quite a good maternity offer. So I went back at 6 months. Elena went back into nursery, and then juggling that with full-time work. So I went back 4 days a week, but I used my holidays to a certain point, and then I was going back 5 days a week. Yeah. Balancing all that I found quite hard, and I found my mental capacity wasn't the same, and I had to accept that. So I wasn't able to deliver the same standard of work at that point that I was doing before. Yeah. Now, luckily, I've been doing that job for a long time, so I know the ins and the outs. So I could
kind of like almost helped that kind of transition back into full-time work because you knew it so well.
Definitely. Yeah. I think it'd be difficult to try and go into a new job after you've been on maternity. That would be a struggle. But luckily I knew this job, the ins and the outs, and I had a great team. So I think when you've got a great team, you can really enjoy your job, and actually those things all just contribute to helping to that cycle.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back was a struggle. I think it took me probably another year to then feel like, right, I can turn up today and I can deliver 100%. And actually I've got the mental capacity to deal with 10 meetings today.
Yeah.
And then that was, it probably took about, so 6 months when I went back to it, probably a year and a half until I felt like I had a bit more mental capacity. And now she is 3.5. And now it's like, I've forgotten what it felt like not to have that capacity. Whereas now I go into work and I know that like work's got my full attention for those 8 hours.
Yeah. And so along that time then, so obviously you had Empower as a brand that was there kind of before you became a mum, and really kind of built into this successful apparel business and website. So how during kind of that, if we say like year and a half after you'd had Elena, what was happening to Empower like during that time?
So when I started the business, I did a lot of my own content. And whilst it obviously did involve quite a lot of other customers in my content, a lot of it I did my own stories, unboxing. People got to really know me as part of the brand. But when I had Elena, I just didn't want to be in front of the camera. I didn't have the capacity to do my own content or the mental headspace. And I actually found that not putting myself in front of the camera I felt better about myself not having to see the pictures. And
it was like an additional pressure that you just kind of didn't need at that time. Like you said, and it sounds like as well in that first 6 months, you were actually putting pressure on yourself, even just to kind of get up and go and do lots of activities, when like you say, you should have just chilled and just had that time, but like almost another pressure that you didn't need on yourself, basically.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So it was almost like I was protecting my peace, because not doing that actually made me just get on with my day. And the fact that I was a bit overweight didn't really matter, because well, it was just me and Elena and getting on with my day. So that like sometimes you kind of, people say, oh, you need to put yourself in front of the camera, seeing yourself more will help. Actually, in that moment, it didn't help. So I was glad that I took that time away. But at the same time, that I then disconnected from my customers. Because before, they were seeing me behind the camera, telling my story, showcasing, and I'm always very honest. So I was honest about the products that came. They got to sample things like, live on my stories with me. And it was a good platform. Whereas what I was doing then, it was called Empower, but I was basically just reposting everyone else's content. A lot of the girls who sent me things were airbrushed. So the name was Empower, but then we were basically reposting edited and airbrushed pictures, and it just didn't really fit the brand. And we did lose a lot of customers just because they disconnected from the brand and what it really stood for.
Which I bet was hard to see and watch as well, because as you say, you built a brand which was so aligned with like your values and what you wanted it to be. So then, rightly so, you took that time away, but to see the impact on taking that time away must have been difficult.
Definitely. Like, it was a bit like, okay, well, what do I do now? Because I built this brand. It's at a place where it could be something really special, but I've really made some big mistakes here, and I've let it fade away. I probably should have brought someone on earlier to help me during that transition period. But sometimes it's hard to let go of something and pass the baton on to somebody else. So I've made a big mistake in that, probably the year, because it was when I had Elena. I basically pushed it all to the warehouse to do the deliveries, and then I just reposted everyone's content, probably for about probably was about 18 months, 2 years. And then I kind of looked at it and thought, what do I do now?
It's so far beyond kind of where you wanted it to be, so you needed that point of reflection for it, which I think, your priorities shifted, didn't they? Like, you had so many changes, and like you say, you went back to a full-time job as well in a you're in finance. Like, it's a difficult career in itself and very mentally taxing. So I think it was almost, you needed to prioritize what you were prioritizing, but then it was time to kind of reflect on on empowering what you wanted it to become.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So that was kind of a pivoting moment for you, wasn't it? And that was end of last year, start of this year?
Well, it was 2024, I think I met Jessica. She became an affiliate for us, and she invited me to one of her events, and I think she was 22 at the time. And so she was really, really young, but so mature. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, so mature. You know, and they say that Gen Zs don't have the same work ethic as millennials, but let me tell you, she does. She doesn't fit that mold.
She's like a diamond in the rough. She's like, I found it.
Yeah. And I went to one of her events, 22, doing her own event. She had about 50 people there.
Amazing. That's so impressive at 22.
Yeah, and she was presenting. She was doing all the mindset. She's got her own business called, one of her other businesses called Mimi Studios, and that's focused around like, you know, goal setting, mindset.
Wow.
And she hosts events. So went there, and she was doing a yoga after, and the yoga teacher didn't turn up, and she'd forgotten. And basically Jess was like, right, well, it's fine. And it's just the way she handled it. She didn't slag the girl off. No. She didn't call her out on anything. She just was a little bit like, okay, things happen.
Yeah.
Let's just move on and we'll just work out what we do. And she managed to get someone from who was actually at the event who does yoga, and she hosted her first yoga class.
No way.
And actually now she's a yoga teacher.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love
it
that.
gave her the platform to do
So that was
do
her
a class.
first one that she did at that.
And she wasn't a yoga instructor at that point.
Amazing.
She did it because obviously the yoga teacher hadn't turned up. She did an amazing job. Another young woman, should I say. Did an amazing job, and then like obviously we just rolled on. I just thought, you know what, her values align with me.
Yeah.
The fact that she could have just blamed the girl and, you know, kind of
and a lot of people would easily have done that as well in that moment. Like, that's difficult in the event live, basically. Like for someone not to turn up when you've got all those people there, like that. It's a lot of strength.
It really is.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I'd be able to do that.
And one of her, she told us to write a goal down as part of that like seminar, which I did. And my goal was to bring someone else to help me.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it. I thought, well, I've literally just wrote this down at your event.
Yeah.
You're 22 years old. Like the maturity that you're showing, that like the fact that you're running your own businesses at this age.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought, she's my girl.
Yeah.
So I rung her up and I asked her. So I was very transparent about, you know, like my journey and the brand. And she was like, yeah, let's do it.
Love that.
She now owns 30% of the business.
Amazing. But how did it feel in that moment when you were like, right, 30% of my business is going? Was there a oof or like a pang of nervousness?
There was a pang, but then I thought to myself, of everything that she could offer in terms of what, like, she was amazing at content. She had all these ideas, and I was just like, I just felt like it was worth it. I actually offered her, we signed the contract on 25% at first. Right. And then she did so much that I just wanted to up that slightly. So then we ended on 30% when obviously we looked to sign. So
amazing. Oh, and feels like you're just going from strength to strength now as well.
I think what we've done is we brought it back to the basics.
Yeah.
And we basically we sold all the old stock when it was Empower, got rid of like pretty much everything. We started from scratch again, which was difficult because it was very nerve-wracking to be like, oh God, I'm clearing everything out of the warehouse we're not making any money on this because we're literally just selling it all for nothing.
Yeah.
And then we're restarting. So I thought we've got to reinvest in stock, like everything's got to be built back up.
Yeah. And that's where you introduce your new brand as well. So that you've gone through kind of that transition this year, which again is huge, coming from like Empower and everything that you'd built there to then kind of introduce this new brand. So how, and I guess that was part of like redefining your stock and redefining what you wanted to be.
Yeah.
So how's that kind of transition happened? Like, what were the steps that you did in terms of the rebrand?
Jess, obviously our target market is probably 18 to 30.
Yeah.
And that is our main target market. That's the age range of most of our customers. But I was more in the 30s, and Empower no longer resonated with that age bracket.
Yeah.
It was just thrown out there a bit too much, and it lost its meaning anyway during the transition of me becoming a mum.
Yeah.
So she'd mentioned it a couple of times, and I was a bit like, the work behind doing a rebrand and everything that comes with it, I was just like, oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And obviously all our logos on the back of everything.
Of
so I just thought, I'm just not sure. And then she brought up again, I thought, I think she's right. I think it needs to happen. That was probably the hardest. Letting go of the shares was not an issue. Letting go of
the money for the brand.
Letting go of the brand name, that was difficult.
Yeah.
And then, so we knew we wanted to do it. And then she voice noted me one day, like the excitement in a voice. She was like, how do you feel about Elena Apparel? And she said, look, like it's your daughter's name, and it also, because it means light and it also means moon. And there's a saying in her family with a grandma that's passed, that she always used to say about the moon. So it meant something in her family as well. And she was just like, I just feel like it was meant to be. So she, a friend of hers, mocked up like Elena Apparel and all the branding for us, and I was just like,
just feels right.
Yeah. And when we did the rebrand, there was stuff that obviously we don't know everything about websites and integration and doing a rebrand.
Yeah.
And then it was like Instagram wouldn't let us change our name when we obviously planned, because we had the the subscription.
Yeah.
So we had to wait until the subscription had ended, and we were like, no. We've obviously announced this rebrand, but our Instagram name couldn't change.
Yeah.
And then there was just things cropping up all the time that we thought we'd done end to end, and we hadn't.
Yeah.
So like
as is always the way with these kind of businesses, because you're just learning all the time.
Exactly.
And and a rebrand is massive. It is such a big change to go through. So carry on, sorry.
No. That was it. So that was the rebrand. We announced it, and then we started building up the collections from scratch. And we really had to have the conversation around what do we want out of our pieces, and that we introduced the Illume collection, and basically that's going to be our staple piece, where then we start kind of building on that and looking at bringing new colours out. And then people want like the jackets, they want the things that can be mixed matched with the stuff they've already got. So they don't want to be buying a new gym set every time. But what they want to be doing, they'd be like, oh well, now I can get a different top and a different jacket that still kind of goes with that collection.
Nice.
So, and it's then reconnecting with our affiliates to try and be like, well, what do you actually want? Because I was looking at designing a tracksuit. So we wanted a tracksuit. I thought people would maybe want the nude colours, the neutral colours for autumn, winter. And I created a couple of designs with the help of ChatGPT. That was my starting point. And then I sent them to the affiliate group just to give them an idea before I sent it to the designer and asked them to help me make it. And they were like, oh no, we don't want cuffs, we want this, we want that. And my God. And the majority said the same thing. So I was like, thank God that I'd asked them. So they created loads of feedback, and then we've sent it to the designer, obviously created the tech pack for us. So hopefully that'll be perfect when we get the sample in a couple of weeks.
I'm excited to see it.
I'm really
excited. You've mentioned your affiliates, and I think one thing that I really love and respect about the brand that you've built is that you've always based it on community. Like that's been such a huge part of what you've done in terms of like building advocates and building your affiliate program. Why has that always been like so important to you as you've kind of moved through kind of building the business?
I think when I first started the business, being an influencer wasn't a thing. It wasn't a full-time job then. It was coming into play, but it wasn't a big thing. So people were doing content for me, and I was using it to promote, and I was helping them grow their account as well as us then, like obviously growing and trying to build a business out of it. So I had to really understand that whilst there was a mutual benefit, they were also creating content which takes time, it takes effort. And you really need to make sure that you're connecting with that person and that you're aligned with the output and the reward that you're expecting from it.
Yeah.
So that meant that from that, people wanted to be showcased. They wanted more connection with the actual brand and what it stood for. They wanted to be able to feed back on the products and everything. And I learned that quite quickly, that then people, they text me, they text me like, hey, and then I got to find out a little bit about what they were about and, what they were up to. And some of the people that I've met, like, I actually consider them my friends, and I've probably only met them face to face once.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I realised that obviously then fast became also a customer base where I could I could tap into the advantage, but also make sure that I was recognising that and rewarding it and rewarding it. Whereas, and everyone's asking for something at the minute, so it's kind of you have to just know that you've got something to offer them as well as they've got to offer you. And it's like you said, the level of respect both ways.
Yeah, and it shows, like you say, like, you've just gone back out to your affiliate community, asked them some questions and feedback, so they're helping guide you and actually really helping you grow that brand further. And I think kind of those community values, I know that was something that you found difficult as well when you kind of stepped away for a little bit and kind of almost disconnecting from them, even more so than just the brand and the business itself was quite difficult.
Definitely, yeah. Because before you'd had like a set amount of affiliates that you would connect with, and you were like a little online family. And then I just disconnected. I just didn't have the time. And then almost now they're actually a new set of people, because obviously I disconnected from a few of them. And then we've created a new, well, not all of them are new, but it's kind of a newish group.
Yeah.
Growing. But we're still growing.
Yeah,
growing.
And you yourself, obviously, you're showing up again now in terms of content and kind of getting in front of the camera again. What have been those steps to kind of get you fully back in front of it?
I think I'm probably going against my own advice here, but when I first, because I was 3 stone overweight and like I did feel it, and I struggled with that, like I've said from a mobility point of view, but also from a visual aspect and being in front of the camera, I really struggled with that. But I've also been working on that for the past 3 years. So I've slowly been losing the weight. It's taken a long time to lose that 3 stone, but it's been a learning curve.
You're doing it in amongst everything that's going on.
Exactly, yeah. And now I've lost the majority of it, and I'm kind of a little bit like, wow, like, look how far I've come.
Yeah.
And actually I feel a little bit more comfortable in front of the camera now, and I've learned to accept that actually, I do have a bit of a bloated tummy there. I am a bit bigger than most of the affiliates, and when I'm stood next to them, like it's trying not to compare myself to other people and just being proud of the progress I've made.
Absolutely.
And that's quite hard to do.
Yeah, of course it is. Us as women, always in the demons.
Yeah. We just did an event the other week, and we had someone do content, and a few years back, there's no way I would have posted any of the pictures. Like, I've got I've got scrunchie leggings on, I've got a sports bra, and I felt so comfortable in front of all the girls because it was a female only event. And some of the pictures, like, I really had to stop myself from tearing myself apart. And I was like, no, you look great. Yeah, you
do look great. You did look great.
Oh, thanks. But I was a bit bloated.
Yeah.
So I could see it on the pictures.
Yeah.
But I just really had to argue with myself, well, that's natural. So what? We all have a little bit of a bloat. Okay, what? Because I don't look like I've got a flat stomach on that picture. I'm not going to post it and share it from the event. And I really had to have a word with myself. And then I had another affiliate message, and she was like, oh, I look massive on that. She didn't.
No.
She looked great. And I was like, we're just so hard on ourselves.
Yeah, we really are. But I think what I love about it is, like, it's real and you're being authentic. Like, I love, like, when you're like running along with the pram and like you're just like in your moment in the day, and that's what you're showing, because I think that's what people relate to. That's what I know I relate to as well. And we are hard on ourselves as women.
Yeah.
Too hard on ourselves. So I think it's just really nice seeing you kind of come back and on your own journey. And like you say, you've come so far, and now having that confidence to showcase that, I think a lot of people will resonate with it.
Yeah, I've definitely had a few messages saying it's actually nice to see that you're back on camera and doing this stuff again. And I do think that is a place it has come from confidence. It's not even about time. It was about the confidence of me stepping in front of a camera and being. I know people say this all the time, that when you become a mother, you lose a bit of yourself. It's not that I lost a bit of myself. I don't feel like I lost who I was. It was more that I was tired. I was tired and my priorities changed, and my mental capacity for the things that I had before, I didn't have anymore. So it was just more about adapting in that period than it was about necessarily losing myself.
I think it's like you're evolving, you're changing, like you say, your priorities are shifting. So it's not that you've lost that part of you. That part of you will always be there, but it's just you've got to look at other things in your life and like look at where your priorities lie.
Definitely. I think I always see these posts as well about if your friend isn't supporting you on your business posts and like liking them, are they really a friend? And people are like, oh yeah, I've got a friend who never likes. I'm kind of a bit like, hang on a minute. Does that friend have her own business and expect it back? Your friend has probably got, if they've got a full-time job, other priorities, and probably the last thing that they want to do at night when they get on their phone and they're doom scrolling and they just want to look at something that they connect with, they probably don't want to then be sat going through all your business posts,
and
liking
commenting
them.
and
But the minute you ask them to and say, hey, like, I'm doing something, I need a bit of support on this, they probably will. They'll probably sit there and do that for you.
100%.
But at the same time, it doesn't mean they're a bad friend because they're not sat there liking all your pictures, all your business. Like, they'll show up when it counts, and that's what's important.
Absolutely.
But I hate those posts. I don't agree with them. I don't think
everyone's got what they've got going on in their lives. Like, no one really knows what's happening behind closed doors or behind the scenes. And obviously we all show what we want to put out there and, post. Like, so I think like you say, like, make those opinions or say that about people when you just don't know, do you?
No.
And like you say, your friends, if they're your friends, they'll show up and they'll be there for you.
Definitely. I don't think that someone's not like liking it. Like, we post every day. You can't expect all my friends to sit there and like all my posts and comment. And I know that they do try to now and again. But I don't want them to. I want them to value their time and actually like do something better with your time.
Go out and enjoy yourself.
When I need the support, I will ask for it. But I'll also work with the people that have got their own businesses who'll be able to give me that support because I'll give it them back. So we can actually form those groups. And you have friends for different purposes, don't you? And like you form that group of friends where you are doing that because you're both getting something out of it.
Definitely. Absolutely. So looking back at kind of everything that you've learned, that you've been through, what do you feel was like a biggest mistake that you've had, but it's something that you've kind of really learned from?
There's obviously quite a few mistakes that I made. My first mistake that we made was that we built my little brother, I think he was like 17 at the time, he built my website for me, and he built it on WordPress. Is that the right one? WordPress, and then we used WooCommerce. Now, obviously, he did all that for me. It was great. It was amazing. It was working perfectly when he built it. But then it started breaking because obviously I was updating all the apps, and then things didn't
connect properly.
So it all just started to fall apart. But I didn't know how to fix it. So there was times where an influencer would post, and like it'd be like we'd have 100 orders, and all of a sudden things would just fall off because people couldn't pay because something had fallen apart and they could no longer order. And I'd be tearing my hair out. I'd be up till like 2:00 in the morning trying to like work with developers to get it fixed, and it was awful. But my older brother said, move to Shopify. Shopify is easier. And I was like, well, no, because it's all built now. And I was so scared of shifting that when after I had Elena's and obviously sales started to kind of dip a little bit, someone reached out to me and said, I'll do all your ads for you, but I'll do the process of, I'll shift you to Shopify and I'll do the whole integration for you. Obviously, I paid him. So I was like, right, yeah, okay, let's just go for it. Best thing I ever did.
Really?
Shopify is so easy for people that don't have like any developer experience. That's you need something that's a one-stop shop, and like
Definitely.
you've got people that can just help you straight away or give you advice. So yeah, like that was the best thing I ever did. So that was one mistake, but we fixed it. But I should have done it earlier. I was running like this for about 2-3 years.
So, isn't it? It's so when you're in the moments with it, and like you said, that's a big shift. And for someone that's not like naturally technical or doesn't really kind of understand, like you say, coding development, and you've built this site that was functioning to a degree, like to make that kind of shift, especially like in amongst when you're actually like, you're still getting kind of orders coming through, is a big like ask of you to do.
No, really was.
But you did it.
Yeah, well, kind of.
We got there.
Yeah. And then I'd probably say the other mistake was obviously just disconnecting from the audience and not staying true to what the brand was. I'd built up this brand name, this brand meaning, and then after I had Elena, I just let it all fall apart. And what I should have done is probably just, I didn't have to try and be in the camera and be in a gym outfit looking great.
Yeah.
But what I could have done is actually showcased, oh, actually, this is hard. Like, this is hard work with Elena. Okay, I could have made it a little bit funnier so people could kind of get to know like the reality of trying to run a brand and be a mom and have a full-time job.
Yeah.
And the reality of it. And I think people would have resonated with that because a lot of people now, they are trying to do something on the side. So they do appreciate that actually people are busy and it's not easy.
Yeah. So. And that again, that realness and authenticity. But again, hindsight's a beautiful thing, isn't it? But I think what's amazing is that you did take that time to recognize kind of where you could move forward at that point. So even though it might have took you a bit longer than you would have hoped, like you were still able to kind of reflect and then move forward. And like I say, like now I just feel like Elena Apparel is just getting stronger and stronger, and it's just so great to see. In terms of like for the kind of not there yet listeners and those that are kind of listening to this and considering a side hustle or starting a side hustle, what would your like number one piece of advice be?
So I think that a lot of people will go into something and think that, oh, okay, well, if they start a business, it's just going to be successful.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of people quit the jobs before they've even got a customer base. But for me, you've got to protect your income.
Yeah.
So especially as like, I just feel that sometimes women like in history have relied on men to be able to fund when they have a family. And that means you've got less choices if that relationship falls apart. So I've then seen people actually stay in a relationship because they don't have the financial means to be able to leave, even though it's not the right thing for them. Yeah. So I think you really have to protect your income as a woman.
Yeah.
And so therefore you've got, I would be the advocate of, starting a career in something that you're going to love. Start something where you've got that dedicated, steady income. But then if you want to do something else, you've got a passion for something else, then start doing that as your hobby, as on the side. Start building up that business to, if it is successful, where you can just then rely on that, then amazing. Then yeah, exactly. Then brilliant. Then you can go all in.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of people, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
So they either go into the career and they let all these ideas and this passion just disappear, and they're like, oh, I shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
Or they go full in with the passion and it fails, and then they don't have the means like in the future to be able to, like I said, leave a relationship or do something else because they're struggling. Yeah. So yeah, my advice probably be a bit controversial because most people say follow your dreams, go all in. But I just think that as women, we need to protect our income. So actually, you should find something that you love if you can. But get that income that you can always rely on or fall back on. But then also there's no reason that you can't, do something on the side to be able to then follow that passion that you actually really want.
Yeah. I think I so agree. Like that stability of you know, and obviously finding a job that you love can be really difficult. Like it's hard.
Yeah.
But like you say, if you've got that kind of financial stream, revenue stream, coming through, and you've got that stability, it almost opens the opportunity to like really put your mind into that passion project. And I think one thing that I've loved about what you've shared, like whenever I spoke to you, is you know, Elena Apparel, Empower, Depop, like all these kind of side hustles that you've done have always come from like passion and like a hobby that you just love doing.
Yeah.
And that keeps you going clearly, like, and is allowed you to kind of get to this point where you are today. And I think actually hearing like, no, make sure that you're stable, make sure that you've got that stream coming in. It means that almost when you're doing your side hustle or your passion, you love it more because you've got that stability that's supporting it.
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes it funds it as well.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it will fund it. Obviously, you've got to start a business from somewhere.
Yeah.
And, you know, like...
And there is costs at the start.
Yeah.
Like, let's not, like, ignore that. There is costs at the start, even for a small business. Like, even for me, for this, it's like, you know, 20 quid there on one subscription or a little bit of this, of like, for you, for like stock and things like that. You've got to start it from somewhere.
Yeah. And there's like you said, there's always hidden costs. Like, you know, like the Shopify setup costs, for instance, website costs, like the actual cost of doing. Luckily, I can do my own accounts, but you know, people doing accounts and setting. So I do all my own accounts for Elena and submit that. So that saves us a lot of money in terms of...
But that would, for someone that obviously isn't in finance, that is a cost.
Yeah, accountants are expensive.
Yes, they are. As they should be. Amazing. Thank you so much, Emma. So where do people find you?
So people can find us at Elena Apparel _. Is it underscore? And then obviously we're in the Content Aura studio, which is also Content Aura _. Or we've got our website, www.elenaapparel.com.
Nice. And you're also doing events, aren't you, quite regularly as well now? So people can find them on Instagram and on your channels as well.
Definitely, yeah. So we kind of started running the events to connect with the affiliates, but actually what we do is then we open it up to customers as well. So they get first choice. First dibs.
Which is fair.
And then obviously we then open it up to more people.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been great.
Yay. Thank you. That was so good. Thank you for listening to this episode of Notes from the Not There Yet podcast. If you like this episode, please give us a follow or a subscribe. It means the world. You can also check out the website notthereyetproject.co.uk or follow us on all your major channels at Not There Yet Project. All right, we'll see you soon.